Hey, what is up, guys? Blankguts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. So I just spent about half an hour watching War Guide's content preview for War in 2025 when he did have a chance to interview MOONTON. And I gotta say, some really phenomenal stuff in there. I'm excited about a lot of the things. The new guild boss, I think, is going to be really exciting. A lot of the changes they are making to Guild Wars and Arena, I'm very skeptical of, but if they work out the way that they seem to think that they will, then they would be great. I just don't know that that's actually going to come to fruition, but, you know, we'll have to wait and kind of see. But I do think that there is a lot of promise and a lot of things that do look very exciting about what they've got planned for us in 2025. With that said, I've got a few things I want to add to the list. This video is going to be the top 5 changes that I would like to see in Watcher of Realms in 2025. So the first thing that I would like to see changed, I guess the fifth thing, the lowest on my priority queue of 5 items that I think needs to be changed would be the way that we've got resources set up in this game. There are too many resources that just stack ad nauseum that we have no use for. And this is, in particular, is a problem for endgame players. The way that they've got resource distribution set up in this game is disproportionate to our needs as a player base. So what am I talking about here? Well, I've got 171 mythic extract. These are the items that you use to promote a hero to promotion level 6. I have 171 of them. You need 4 each time that you do level up a hero, which means that I've got enough to do almost 43 different upgrades. There aren't 43 characters in the game that I don't have. They offer these not only as bonus drops in the promotion raids, but they also offer them as rewards in tournaments, in events, things like that. They are near useless for endgame players. And while I recognize that as an early game player, this was a limited resource for me, I think by the time I hit maybe account level 50 or 60, I was never in a spot where I needed more of these. This is not the only thing where that is an issue, though. Let's keep going down the list here. I have got almost 7,000 legendary skill dust. That is ridiculous compared with my 7 legendary skill crystals. And this goes across all the different skill dust. Almost 15,000 epic skill dust. I have got 32,000 rare skill dust. This is nuts. And also, while we're on this topic here, I have got cumulatively about 7,000 of these rare promotional materials, which for some reason drop in the same proportions in the promotion rate as the legendary ones and the epic ones. The epic ones are kind of in a similar spot. I've got about 5,000 of them here. Actually, it's more like 4,300, 4,500 maybe, something in that range. What am I doing with these? Why do I need this many? Look at the legendary ones, which again are the ones when you do use them, you need more of them. So why are they dropping in the same proportion to one another? It doesn't make any sense. And this is not even talking about the biggest one here, which is these 5-star psychic powers. I've got 266 of them. You use 5 of them to upgrade a hero to 6 stars. I've got enough to upgrade 53 heroes. Again, I don't have that many heroes in the gallery that are not on my account. So why would I possibly need these? So what's the solution here? I think there's a twofold solution that I'm going to propose. First, there needs to be some kind of conversion. And I think that we don't have to get overcomplicated with it. I think we can keep everything in the same family. So for example, skill dust. Every 1,000 skill dust should be able to be converted into a legendary skill crystal. Why not? How is that a problem? Is the game going to break because all of a sudden I get 6 more legendary skill crystals? I don't think it will. I think we'll be all right. Why can't I convert some of these 7,000 rare promotion materials into epic ones or into legendary ones, which are the ones that we really need? These things need to be addressed. And if you're not going to fix the frequency with which these things drop in game, then you need to provide us with a way to convert these materials into something that we can actually use, because otherwise it feels like we're not actually getting a reward. The second part of this would be to adjust the rewards that accounts receive based on either account progression or account level, something like that, where once you reach a certain threshold, you start getting items that are more geared towards endgame accounts. And I think that would go a long, long way, because quite frankly, I don't think I am ever going to need another 5-star psychic power. I would like to see it change. All right, number 4. And this one is pure quality of life. This one is pure quality of life, but I think it could make a massive difference for a lot of folks. We have all of this different content in the game. We've got 5 different gear raid and gear dungeon stages total. We've got more on the horizon from what we've been told. We've also got 2 guild bosses. We've got Void Rift. We've got Void Rift Epilogue. We've got codexes. We've got artifact material raid, promotion raids, Tide, all of these different things that require different gear sets. And what we really need is a feature that will save the last gear set that was used to clear a stage, so that there is no more of this juggling gear around constantly, trying to fix things, having runs fail, things like that. It just takes away from the enjoyment of the game, in my opinion. I think there is way too much time that is spent going through gear, selling gear, building gear sets, and then having to rebuild them because we've only got 50 different save profiles that we can use. And even the save profiles themselves, as much as I think that it's a massive improvement over what we had before, having to go through and reapply up to 10 different gear sets to a different piece of content in order to reset up my team just seems like it's a pedantic waste of my time. We're playing a mobile game here. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. Let's not purposefully aggravate the players. Number 3, we need to shake up the meta in the PvP game modes. By those, I mean Guild War as well as Arena. Now, I do know that the 2025 roadmap video did contain a lot of proposed changes for both Guild Wars as well as Arena, although I think mainly what they were talking about is real-time Arena. The Guild Wars changes that I did see seem to primarily be based on the addition of these different factions within the Demon Soldiers. So there's going to be some kind of synergy between Demon Soldiers that did share certain passive skills and things like that, which is cool. I'm not knocking it. I haven't tried it. I don't know exactly how it's going to take shape in game, so I'm not going to judge that before I've actually seen it in game. But what I will say is that it does not address the main issue that I see in Guild Wars, which is something that I brought up a month or 2 ago when I did create a video just kind of expressing my frustration at the ubiquity with which we see different GVG comps. It is insane how many Arbiter, Nightmare, and Esotericist comps we have to face on a weekly basis. They are largely the exact same teams, and it is not fun for the game mode. So once again, I am going to offer the idea that I do think that it would be nice to have a rotation where certain heroes or certain factions were banned or restricted during certain weeks. I don't think that this should be a permanent thing. I don't think that you should never be able to use your Praetus or your Ingrid or anything like that. However, I do think that it does make sense to say, have 1 week where Arbiters aren't the go-to. I think it would encourage a lot of discussion, a lot of thought experiments as people were trying to figure out exactly what the best comp was given the restrictions for each given week. And it would just, I think, shake things up. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to keep things fresh, right? We want to make things engaging so you're not doing the same thing over and over again and attacking the same Arbiter defense that I attacked a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago is just not fun anymore. For me anyway, I have gotten tired of it. I think a lot of other people have. What I have seen in the comments in my videos is that while there is a diehard group of people that are really into GVG, the number of people that are gung-ho about it has been dropping steadily for quite some time now. And I do think that it needs a shakeup. So I think a lot of the things I just said you could also apply to Arena as well. I am not an expert on Arena. I don't spend anywhere near as much time on Arena as others do. But I do know that if you go and you look at the top 300 for any given match type, whether that's anti-air, AoE, or single target, what you do see is the exact same teams just repeated over and over again throughout the top 300. Like, I mean, I challenge you to go and find a non-Valderon team in the top 300 for single target Arena and find one without Praetus and Ingrid in it in the anti-air and AoE arenas. It's just, there's just so much uniformity in those teams. I just don't understand how that is something that they want to have persist at the end of the day. It really kills the game modes in my mind, and which is unfortunate because for me personally, those are the game modes that I am most drawn to as an endgame player. I'd like to see them fix it. Number 2. We need more challenging endgame PvE content. Now, I know that there is a lot of PvE content that is on the horizon. I mentioned some of it in the intro. We've got a new Nightmare 5 Guild Boss coming, which is great. I think that they did a lot of great work with Guild Boss 2, although they have significantly watered it down at this point. So it is not quite the same experience as it was initially. I think that what we need is at least a portion of the content in the game should be very, very difficult, very challenging. Something on the same level as like Void Rift Epilogue. I hope there are more stages for that. Honestly, I think that they could do with putting in more content that was like that, which was challenging. And I know that many people have not been able to complete that. I know that many people feel that that is too challenging, and I get it. I get it. Here's an alternative perspective, though. I don't think that everybody needs to be able to beat every piece of content that is released in the game at the time of its release. It gives you something to work towards. It gives you something to really, I think, to drive people to want to get new heroes, to want to build new comps, something to look forward to. It gives you a point to your farming at the end of the day. I think there should always be a place in games like this for content that is challenging and hard to beat. And I hope they are going to put more of that in moving forward in this game. And finally, I think many of you may have guessed this, but I think we need to know the specific rates for every single hero in the game. That includes the rate up rates. So when something is on a 15x, this should update dynamically with individual rates for literally everybody. If there are units that do share the same rate, they should be grouped into buckets, kind of like they have it right now, except it should actually be accurate, right? Because we all know that Zealous is far more common than Hatsu, that Seraphina is far more common than, say, Vierna or something like that. So I don't think that this is sufficient. I think that this, especially considering the issues that have happened with summoning most recently, where it was discovered that there was a major flaw in the way that RNG was calculated in this game, that not having the rates on here is going to continue to lead to questions from people asking, was this rigged? Did I get scammed? Does it make sense for me to put money into this game? You need to release the rates. If you're not hiding anything, I don't see why you wouldn't, MOONTON. So I think you need to do this in order to restore trust from your community. I can't tell you as a content creator, especially, this was like highlighted no better than during the Sun Wukong event, where all I saw was just people saying over and over again, I got scammed. I didn't get what I wanted. What is his rate? This was rigged. This was a scam. It just over and over and over again, this never ending litany of people that clearly feel as though it does not make sense to invest money into this game because nobody knows what they're buying. So that is my wish list, guys. That is what I want to see in 2025 from MOONTON and from Watcher of Realms. What do you think? Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on what you'd like to see in 2025. You know, MOONTON has historically been a company that really listens to their player base, and I really appreciate that about them. I know many people do appreciate that as well. So hopefully they see this video. Hopefully they take some of these suggestions to heart and we see some of these changes get made in the game. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, free ways that you can support my channel, and it really does make a huge difference. So thank you in advance if that is something you can do. I will catch you all next time.